Meeting of the Valley Center City Council for October 19th, 2021 is now in session. Roll call.
Mayor Cicerello.
Here.
Councilmember Stam.
Here.
Councilmember Evans.
Here.
Councilmember Davis.
Here.
Councilmember Anderson. Councilmember Gregory.
Here.
Councilmember Kerstetter.
Here.
Councilmember Wilson.
Here.
And Councilmember Colbert.
I'm not sure, but I'm here.
Don't see members Pastoral Alliance. So please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, moving right along, item 5, approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Item 6A, City Council meeting minutes of October 5th, 2021.
Move to approve the minutes of the October 5th, 2021 regular meeting as amended.
Second.
Amendment.
Did you say amended?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. She did send out another amended update. You're right. She sent an email update of an amendment. You're right. I
Okay.
did not print it. So that is correct. So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. All right, moving right along. Item 7, presentations and proclamations. I do have a proclamation to read tonight. But before that, I need to make sure I'm properly attired. I did wear my shirt, but I need to make sure my hat's on. Councilmember Evans neglected to wear his proper attire for tonight, but I did not want to make Councilmember Colbert upset with me for not having my full stuff on. So this is kind of small for me for my reading, so I'm going to do my best here. This is a proclamation for the Vietnam Moving Wall Week, October 21st to the 25th, 2021. Whereas in the years of the Vietnam War, over 58,000 individuals gave their life in the belief that all men and women are equal and should enjoy freedom. And as the Moving Wall travels around the country, it will visit Valley Center October 21st to the 25th, 2021. And whereas Valley Center, Kansas, has one individual who was killed in the Vietnam War serving in the United States Marine Corps by the name of Staff Sergeant Billy Joe Wilson. And whereas Valley Center, Kansas was also home to an individual who was held captive during the Vietnam War named Patrick Miller. And whereas of February 17th, 2019, there are 639 Kansas names on the memorial. And whereas all Vietnam veterans gave some and some gave all, we owe a debt of gratitude to all veterans for having borne the heaviest cost of war. We also pay tribute to the brave patriots who suffered as prisoners of war, and we stand steadfast in our commitment not to rest until we account for the 1,253 heroes who have not yet returned to American soil. And whereas this moving wall and the wall in our nation's capital help to ensure the sacrifices of the 9 million heroes who served during this difficult chapter in our country's history and returned home are remembered and will help those who serve proudly heal as we remember both the fallen and those who have served during this turbulent time in our history. Whereas the moving wall is an official half-size replica of the Washington, D.C. Vietnam Veterans Memorial and has been touring the United States for 30 plus years. And the moving wall will be visiting Valley Center, Kansas on October 21st, in which all citizens will be able to visit and see the sacrifice made in the Vietnam War on a more personal level. Now, therefore, I, Lou Cicerello, Mayor of the City of Valley Center, Kansas, do hereby proclaim October 21st to the 25th, 2021, as Vietnam Moving Wall Week, and call on all of our citizens to recognize all the contributions of our nation's Vietnam veterans. And I call upon all Americans to offer each of our Vietnam veterans a thank you on behalf of the nation, and cause the seal of the City of Valley Center to be affixed and proclaim Vietnam Moving Wall Week in Valley Center. And as most of you know, Ron Colbert has been the big advocate for this and has worked on this tirelessly now for over 2 years. We had a discussion in our last meeting about this, saying that, boy, if we had to actually do this in the time slot we originally thought we were going to, we probably would have not had any sleep. But Ron and Chris and the rest of all the volunteers have done a phenomenal job putting this together. And I think it'll be a great opportunity for everybody to please come out and see it, and maybe learn a little bit from the veterans that are there. Talk to them. You know, they'll be more than happy to tell you what really happened. So at this time, I'm going to present this to Ron. No, thank you, sir, by all means. All right. Moving along, we are now at this time in the meeting, which is the public forum. This is the time for anybody here in the room that would like to speak to an item that is not on the agenda. All right, seeing none, we're going to move right along. We have no appointments, no committee or commission reports, no old business. So we're going to move right on to new business. Item A, third quarter financial review by our treasurer.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
I'm pretty sure I said our treasurer, not our city administrator, didn't I? Very good, Matt.
No, he's not here, so.
Very good, Matt. You know, he used to be real quiet. Remember that? A long time ago, never really wanted to say anything. Now Brent's really gotten to him too, so it's infectious.
Okay, there's actually not a ton of really interesting stuff this quarter, but enough. So we'll go over it anyway. The finicky. The treasurer's report here is the same as the one that'll be published in the paper. So Councilmember Gregory asked on her way in, so I thought it probably a good thing to go ahead and mention. There are a couple of funds down here, gifts and grants and state and federal grant management. Gifts and grants, that is mostly comprised of funds coming in for the moving wall. So, right, this particular quarter, the revenue looks hearty, but the expenditures are not a whole lot. They'll probably flop for the fourth quarter the other direction because we'll be spending all of that money on the moving wall that has come in. And then the state and federal grant management, that is the ARPA funds, the half that we have received already. We received them last quarter, but just so you can recognize what they are. Right, so for finance and administration, some of the things that we've accomplished in the last quarter with what has been spent is we replaced our server. We took the delivery on the first enterprise vehicles. We've assisted with the moving wall. A couple other departments have that same one because it's kind of been spread all over. And then partnered with the Chamber of Commerce to promote the app. This one is particularly special for me because this is probably a good time to give you a little update on the app. We have, as of today, when I checked, 534 downloads. The Tuesday before Fall Fest, I checked and we had 415. So we took a pretty significant leap and over that weekend. We actually had 97 of those were that weekend. So I was pretty excited about the interest that we got in the app by partnering with the chamber and using it to get some of the Fall Festival information out there. And then I put this little chart down here at the bottom that showed this is not downloads, this is traffic. So number of sessions. So kind of July and August were on the lower end, but September, where we had Fall Fest, you can see we took a big spike in the number of people opening the app and using it, not necessarily downloading it, but using it. And then I checked today as well on October, and our October numbers, as of today's the 19th, so 2/3 of the way through the month, are already almost double what our August numbers were for usage. The top thing is online bill pay. People jump on to pay their bill. So that's pretty convenient. And then the Community Development Department, several permits, a lot of really interesting stuff going on in the Community Development Department that I don't know a whole lot about. Same with Parks and Public Buildings. They've got some of these things. I know I've heard Neil up here talking about the butterfly garden a couple of times. They've been preparing for the moving wall. They received their solar light. Oh, I'm excited to see that. I haven't been over there. The police department, the fire department hired Nick Banning as their full-time captain. And they have purchased those boxes that you guys approved a few meetings back to do fire training with. Police department worked at Fall Festival. Both departments got new laptops. Public Works have been doing streets overlays, repairing some pits or changing some pits. Rodney talked about that a few meetings ago. But overall, a lot of exciting things have happened, but not much to report in ways of interesting financials. Do you guys have any questions?
Council? Don't see any.
I
Go ahead. I was going to ask for the motion to receive and file.
make a motion to accept and file third quarter financial review report.
Second.
A motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, consent agenda.
I make a motion to accept consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and second. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Moving right along, staff reports. Look at that. 7:13. Mr. Schrack. Mr. Owens. Great. Chief Newman. There's always
I'm
one.
quick.
There's always one.
I attached my third quarter report, so I'll just stand for any questions. I have nothing additional to add.
I mean, even Josh isn't here. I mean, you know?
No, thank you. Is what he's gonna
Okay.
say.
Mr. Eggleston. Okay, there's two.
Within the last week, the streets department did get the third rapid flash beacon put up at the intersection of Fifth and Emporia, along with the modified crossing paint that was requested as months back. So just want to let you know that has been completed.
I do have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
And this is, I'm not sure because it runs right along the line. Nancy Anderson,
Uh-huh.
you know, she lives off on Kessler out there.
Okay.
Apparently the road makes a curve and it's been a while since I've been out there. And there was apparently an auto accident recently there. Somebody hit a pole on the corner there. But I don't, and she'd asked me if there's something we could put up of a sign of what, you know, slow or hazardous curve or something. But because of where she lives and where that is, I'm not even sure what's in the city and what's not in the city at this point.
I'm at a bit of a disadvantage, so I'm not quite sure where in.
Yeah, it's behind Ridgefield.
Yeah, I know that road, but is it, so
Can you
it kind of
pull up
curves
a-
around, goes north, and then it kind of takes a 90 and goes out west.
yeah, I think it's the 90. Let's see if he can pull this up real quick. Sorry, guys, I didn't want to take this long, but you know, but it just reminded me that she had asked that. Yes, you want to get all the way in there. Yep, and it's
Go north.
further north. It makes a curve right there.
That's still city limits. We
Okay,
can-
so I'm assuming there's a pole right there too, because, so what she was asking is if there's something we can do to, slow down or apparently, I don't want to say this and make it sound bad, but it was a young teenager. And I know for a fact that when you're on a washboarded road, you don't have a whole lot of traction no matter what you're driving. And it may have just been, a mistake, you didn't count on it, but what she had asked is, would it be possible to just put a slow curve or some kind of signs up there to slow people down as they try to make that curve? Do you think we could pull something off after you've looked at it better?
Yeah, I'm sure we can take a look at it, and Chief Newman and I can sit down and have a conversation about it.
Councilmember Kerstetter.
Should we ask Mr. Golka what would be best in that area too?
We could, but I'd like to let these guys take a look at it first and see what they
It's
think.
cheaper too.
Yeah. That was the really part.
Just
So
Being
yeah,
honest.
like I said, I rarely go out there and she had just mentioned it to me late last night at the moving wall meeting. And it just reminded me when he stood up. So I was wanted to get it out there.
Oh, you bet.
So,
We'll take a look at
okay, just take a look at it. Thank you.
You bet.
All right. Mr. Golka's not here. Mr. Arbuckle. Mr. Smith. Mr. Clark, if you're watching, oh well. Yeah, I know. I know he's not. I know he's not. All right, we're going to move along to governing body reports. I will not take Mr. Councilmember Colbert's thunder away about this weekend. I will let him discuss that. So I have nothing else. Councilmember Stam.
I have nothing.
Councilmember Evans.
I have nothing.
Councilmember Davis.
I have nothing.
Councilmember Gregory.
I have nothing.
Councilmember Kerstetter.
No, thank you.
Councilmember Wilson.
I'll leave it to Ron.
Hey, Councilmember Colbert, I know you've got to have something.
Oh, I got a lot. Not really. First of all, I'd like to thank the city for the proclamation on behalf of the American Legion Post 73 and all the veterans in Valley Center. We do appreciate it. That's the first thing. Second thing is, as everybody knows, we have the moving wall coming in. I talked to the guys this afternoon. They're on their way, but they're running about 4 hours behind schedule, and they're going to make it up tonight driving. So they'll be in town tomorrow at approximately 3 o'clock. And we have a meeting set with them at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening to go over everything. So comes the 21st, we'll be all cleared and everything will be just one after the other type of deal. We have, according to Facebook, Twitter, and a couple other places, we're hitting over 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 votes on the moving wall. And my phone hasn't stopped ringing for the last 3 days. It just try to call me and I answer one phone, the other phone rings. So it's going to be hectic, but we'll get through it. And I appreciate the help of all of the people in here in this room, plus the others that are not here that have really contributed to the moving wall. With that, if there's no further business, before we leave, I'd like to get a picture of you presenting the proclamation on here.
Sure.
If there's no other business before the council, I'll make a motion that the meeting be adjourned.
Second?
Motion and second to adjourn. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.